Good morning and welcome to Locked In on Lockdown. My name's Alex Elaine.
I'm Jack Gerard.
And we're bringing you that source of inspiration, motivation, and actionable tips to get your mind right and your day started with a bang. Jack, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about building self-confidence and also, I guess, the importance of confidence as well. And especially for you, Alex, working in sales, this is integral to what you do. It's going to be very difficult to be successful in sales without a high level of confidence and resilience. So maybe you'd like to just quickly explore some of the aspects which make it valuable to you.
Yeah, happy to. And as you brought up my passion, sales, it's only right to start there. And what I found is that, for any salesperson, I often say, if you don't believe in what you're selling and the way that you're positioning it, it's almost impossible for you to actually get a deal over the line, right? You've got to be passionate about what you're positioning, but you need the self-confidence and to translate that through every part of your interaction with the customer to get them to feel excited and that what you're positioning is actually going to drive value for them. So self-confidence, again, I like to refer to it as a muscle, but it's a muscle that can be built. It's something that can be practiced. And some people might say, well, how do you develop self-confidence? And to me, a lot of it comes through experience and tenure, right? And actually upskilling yourself on whatever it is that you're trying to become confident in. If you're not a confident public speaker, guess what? How do you become confident? You got to go and do it. And not do it once, you got to do it over and over and over again until it just becomes almost inherent and a part of the way that you operate. So that's some of my top of mind thinking.
I think that's a great segue into you being able to share the story of when you did have a public speaking event when you were younger and how you struggled with it, but then also what you subsequently did to be able to upskill and to build your confidence with relation to public speaking.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that story in 1 minute form is that it was the first time I was ever public speaking in front of the mass majority of my school. And I went up on stage. I felt good going out there. And as soon as the bright lights hit me and I saw a few familiar faces, I just completely froze. I went blank, forgot everything that I had to say, to the point where I had to walk off stage and I couldn't go back out. So you can imagine I went home tail tucked between my legs, and I realized I had two choices at this point. Either just relinquish this and accept that I'm just not a good public speaker, or I could go and commit myself to working out a way to become the best public speaker I could be. And the only way to do that was practice. And so what I did was, the next time I had an opportunity to speak, I took it, but this time I had this mindset that I was going to practice so many times till I would almost became sick of my own voice. So I used to just be walking around the room practicing, but also recording myself every single time I did it. And then I'd be on the train in and I'd replay it over to myself, honestly, like 30, 40 times. And so there was no real secret behind it. I was really intentional about the repetition, and then the confidence and the experiences all come over time. And then I do it on much bigger stages and more regularly.
I think that's something that's really important for people to be able to understand, is that, I mean, obviously there's progress that you can make in every single aspect and area of life. But I do understand for some people, perhaps even getting to that stage where you have the confidence to believe that you can make change is difficult unto itself. And for those people, I would say that the best thing that you can really do is work on developing positive affirmations. Really try and be your best friend when you see yourself in the mirror, or every single action that you're taking. It doesn't really matter at that stage, regardless of whether you're succeeding or you're failing so much, but it's more a case of ensuring that you're not being too harsh on yourself. And when you do succeed, when you are making those small incremental gains, that you're applauding yourself, because sometimes you can't rely on family and friends to be there to support you at all times. And realistically, it's most important that you are your biggest fan, because that's going to be what's going to help you to cross the line. And I do think it is important, with that said, that you are trying to consistently go outside of your comfort zone, because it's only when you do go outside of your comfort zone that you're allowing yourself to grow. And for me at least, I do think that the process of building self-confidence really does stem from growth and seeing yourself grow, whether that is, you know, with upskilling, or for me, for example, it came through the process of the gym. And that, again, not to take up too much time, but I really think that's something that's very valuable, not just because exercising is going to release a ton of endorphins, but when you start to physically see yourself change and you realize that you are becoming a better version of who you previously were, it's going to do an absolute wealth for your self-confidence.
That's interesting. And so for people that, you know, also want to build self-confidence and want to take that first step on the journey right now, what's kind of the first step on that process, would you say, for anyone that wants to start to become more confident?
I think it comes from a standpoint of rewiring your mindset. And I think a lot of the time people who are lacking in confidence do so because the subconscious is feeding negative information. You'll find yourself in a variety of situations and it will always take the negative view and say, oh no, you can't do this, or oh no, you messed up here, or X, Y, and Z. Whereas just take a step back and be mindful of that narrative that is taking place in the back of your head and watch out for it. And every single time that, you know, you do have a negative thought like that, replace it, not just one time with something to say, yes, I can do this. Say it like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And it's going to be a process. It is going to be very difficult to change that narrative, but you definitely can do it. And it's very important. It is going to be very important to rewire your subconscious, in my opinion. What would you say, Alex?
Yeah, I love when I think self-confidence, and this is my phone wallpaper is Muhammad Ali, right? And whenever I've had some challenges, I guess, in the past around being able to bring my authentic and present self to any scenario I'm in, Muhammad Ali's been my go-to, because if you think of self-confidence, find me someone who has more belief and more passion and more energy about the person they are and what they're going to do. And Ali used to tell you, I'm the greatest fighter on the planet. I'm going to knock you out. There's no competition. It's me. It starts with me and it ends with me. And for some people, he was almost too much. But the reality is he had so much self-belief and self-confidence in himself that he managed to manifest that in real life. And we look at Ali, he just achieved some remarkable things, not just as a fighter, but as a humanist and someone who got involved in politics and wanted to drive an agenda. He achieved greatness, but it's because he believed in himself, and it was such an unrelenting belief that no one could shake him, no one could wobble him. So even if you are finding it hard today, find that someone that you can model yourself on, or when you feel like you're a little bit derailed, you know, do what I've done, set your wallpaper, right? And so you just look at your phone and immediately it triggers. I think it's always good to look for someone that you can model yourself on or get some inspiration or guidance from. Is there anyone that's top of mind for you, Jack, that has that same type of impact?
Maybe not the same type of impact, but the same level of confidence. I would say Kanye West. Okay. I don't know if that's exactly who I want people to model themselves after, even though I do love Kanye. But obviously he has an extreme level of confidence. But I think that's a great tip, to set something on your wallpaper that is going to inspire you and keep you focused, because you're going to look at your phone 100 times a day, and slowly that rewiring would take place. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. As always, go away with, you know, these tips and actionable steps that we've given you. We hope that you have a great day. Stay locked in.
Thanks for joining us. Take care.